of the tape. So the shear strength is the up and down movement of the tape. So when you have the tape on the fabric here and it's pulling down pressure when you have especially heavy drape, so you're just going to measure that, and as our control we're going to measure it against a 3M tape. So we're going to apply a strip of tape here on one cloth, and this is a polyester cloth, and another one against here. We're going to place it against our table here and apply weights. So the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and tear a piece off or apply a tape onto the drape here. So it's just going to 1 inch wide here. So we're first going to go ahead and apply the 3M tape just as our control. So we have something to compare it with, and okay. So when you apply tape, you want to make sure that you have really solid contact against the surface that you're applying the tape against. And so I'm using this roller to apply firm pressure. You can use your fingers, your thumbs to apply pressure as well. So you want to make sure you have a very solid contact against here. And then we're going to do the same thing with the table drape tape. So here it is. Apply it on here. Do the same thing. Apply it here, a strip across the top. And they're both the 3M tape and the table drape tape. They're both foam tapes, double coated on both sides with adhesive. So let's go ahead and apply the pressure on this as well. And then you don't have a roller, just go ahead and press it with your fingers and your thumb. Make sure you have a solid contact. And then the surface we're going to be applying against is this table. And when you apply against any surface, remember the first step is to clean the surface to make sure we have a nice and clean contact against the surface. Otherwise you have dust or dirt and debris. It's going to affect the adhesion of the tape against the substrate. In this case is our table. So I went ahead and cleaned it. Now just as you would apply a drape, we're going to do it the same way. So take the adhesive, apply it here, and then we're going to take our table drape tape and do the same thing. So fold it over and apply it here, and then we're going to apply our weights to it. And we're going to start with one of these plates for each one to begin with. Here, so this is the 3M tape. Let's go ahead and apply it against this surface here. So we cleaned it already. I'm just going to peel the liner away. Try not to touch the surface of the tape. So let's go ahead and apply one right here at the edge. Same thing with the table drape tape. With the protective liner, we're going to fold it over and apply it here on the edge as well. Now remember, we're going to have a really good contact, so applying my roller to make sure we have excellent contact against the surface. press, 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 press. The biggest enemy with pressure-sensitive adhesive, which is what we are using here, is cleanliness of the surface. Well, the surface tension, the ability of the surface to hold against a bond of adhesive, the cleanliness, and then the contact, the pressure you apply. So remember, it's those three things: the surface, the cleanliness, and then the pressure that you apply. So we have our drapes here. You see they're just free hanging here. We're going to go ahead and apply weight on each one. So we're going to start with one of these weights per each, and then if it holds, if we don't see it peeling against the surface, we're going to go ahead and add another weight. So there's two ways that it can separate. First, it can separate from the fabric against the tape. So that's what. So it's going to release at its weakest point. So this is a coated kind of polyester. So I suspect it's going to release from this fabric, or if it holds onto the fabric and the tape, it's going to release against this table. So this table, I'll just release it away from this table. So we'll see what happens here. We're going to let it dwell for about a couple of minutes, and then we'll go ahead and apply the plate. So dwell just means that's going to be setting into the surface here. So we'll give it a minute. Okay, so it's been about a minute. So we're just going ahead and apply one weight. Just going to hold it with the clips here. And then for the other one, do the same thing. Right here. Okay, let's go ahead and release these. Release this down slowly. We don't want to jerk it down, so okay, that's the 3M there. And I have my timer. I'm going to time it to see how long it takes for it to fall. So like I said, if it doesn't release here, we'll go ahead and add another weight. Okay, so it's been 1 minute since we applied the first weight here, and you can see this side is a little bit creeping out of here, so it's separating from the fabric on this corner here, so eventually it'll start tearing this way. This one seems to be still holding on, so let's give it and I can see the tape is separating from the table at this corner as well. So it's separating from the table itself and then from the fabric. So let's give it one more minute. Okay, so it's been 2 minutes now, about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So what we see slipping here, slipping here. This seems to be holding okay. So why don't we go ahead and add one more plate on this one, and then go ahead and add one more on this one, and see what happens. I see it peeling off from the table here. ahead and set this one down slowly. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Okay, it's been a couple minutes, and let's see what we have here. So we have this creeping down a little bit. It's holding onto the drape fine. It's starting to creep from here, this corner as well. So let's go ahead and add some more, a little bit of weights here. Remove this. Alright, so now it's been 3 minutes since we added the additional leaded red weights onto our plates, and see it's coming out of here, and it's sliding off this as well. This one is peeling off in this corner here. So I'm just going to time it to see how long it takes for it to fall. Okay, so after about 20 minutes, the actual adhesive separated. actually tore the foam here. This one's still holding on pretty. Let's go ahead and release this. So the 3M tape tore up, and then the table drape is still on here. See it fit into the fabric pretty well. Yeah, it fit into the fabric really well. So this one didn't really get into the fabric, so that's why it's separated, and then the tension, it tore it here. So see if it does it remove cleanly, because you want the tape to remove cleanly from the surface so there's no residue on here. So there's a little bit of residue here, but you can remove it. It's pretty clean, so there it is. So it held on to the fabric pretty well. And this one releases cleanly from the table. So that concludes the test of the table drape tape, and then the 3M tape on this side.